Hello there, I'm Chris, aka The Jackal from Fox and Jackal, the channel you're on, obviously, you clicked on it. So what are we doing today? What are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about two things. It's only a small video, it's primarily about one thing, but the other thing will be we're going to have a little look at the small amount of progress I've made on my Devil Man, on my fantastic little cross stitch currently underway. And the second one is we're going to have a look at my first ever pattern. So, first off, I would like to show you the Devil. He's a lovely chap in his own way. He's got a hard job. Anyway, there you go. So I've done the top of the head. It took me a while, couple of redos, trying to get there, trying to speed up. It's been difficult. I've made a few errors here and there, but do you know what? When you make a mistake, sometimes it's worth just carrying on. Do you know what I mean? Especially when you're just practicing. This is just practice. But when it's done, it's going to be on the wall behind me. It's my trophy for defeating a particular demon, and that is going to be good. I recommend to you, if you ever, when you're doing cross stitches, occasionally do yourself a cross stitch which represents something to you, something that makes you feel like, you know, maybe like you've had a really trying time, maybe you're going to hospital, or maybe family problems, whatever, you know, whatever it may be, because it can be anything, can't it? And basically, just make something, make a cross stitch that represents you winning over that. And then when you look at that cross stitch again, it's not like just having a wall with pretty cross stitches, which is awesome, I will say that. But what makes it even better is that it means something to you. So when I look at this on the wall, I'm going to see how I was strong enough to support my mother through her hospital difficulties, through the cancer battle. I was there for her, and there were times where I selfishly didn't want to be because I found it really, really stressful. But the man in me obviously took over, and I made that journey. I found that money to make that journey, and I got there, and I supported her. And some of you would have seen me doing the little messages and stuff to try and keep you in the loop. But that's what this is going to mean. This not only means you know, my second attempt at cross stitch. This means I win and I beat the devil, and it's like having the devil's head as a trophy. It's that kind of thing. It sounds dramatic, but you know, I am a supernatural horror and random story writer, so that is how I think. But there we go, halfway through the devil, and he will be mounted on my wall soon enough. So the second thing, probably the more important thing to talk about, is the pattern. I made a pattern. It's called the Midnight Meeting. I'd like to thank Boutique Stitches, if I remember right, a lady on Instagram, and she told me that I missed out on the height and width and stitch count, I believe. But it is my first pattern, so of course I did. But she was really nice. She let me know, which was really cool, and she put compliments. She wasn't like picking on me, she was giving me some damn help that I needed, and it flippin' helped. So it's really good. So I stuck that in there, and it's okay, it's cool. I think I've done it right. If I haven't, again, let me know if I've missed a point, or if I've done it wrong, if you're watching Boutique Stitches, if I've not listened to your help properly, which does happen, because I am mental, then let me know again, you know, it's alright, just give me a nudge. And so anywho, so this is the first page of my pattern. This is me showing it as a picture, and then there's all the my picked out DMC. I think that is the. Sorry, I'm such a beginner, aren't I? Good lord, you're probably watching it going, just say it, Chris. So yeah, these are the colour patterns I picked. The black I got 310. The white 3865, the red is 606, the dark red is 815, the yellow is 3078, dark yellow 834, beige is 822, and the flesh colour is 3774. I bet you're glad you listened to that. So, and that's cool, and all the business, but yeah, that's the picture. But what I did, obviously because it has to be a cross stitch, is, bear with me, there we go. That was a little bear, by the way. That's the larger bit of it. So that's the Midnight Meeting. There we go. So that's cool. But I found that to be really small when it gets printed out on A4. So what I did is probably unnecessarily, I included quarters. So you can work on a quarter, each quarter if you wanted to. So I don't know if this makes sense, but yeah. So that's quarter 1. So that's the top of the tree. Top of the tree there. And then quarter 2, the bottom left. There. So that's the little dude and the dudette hanging around, duding it up for the dude times. This is part 3. It's the moon. And some stars, I believe, or 2 stars. Anyway, cool. And finally, part 4 has the door. So that's good. So yeah, that's that. And basically, the pattern. I don't know if it's perfect. I haven't actually. I don't know how to make a perfect pattern yet. But I'm on my way, and I will tell you this. I really bloody enjoyed it. It was very exciting. My wife took care of the Photoshop angle of things. She's very smart in that. She could do that for me. She could get that sorted out. And I will be learning those skills myself soon enough. And that was really helpful because, yeah, it just made the whole thing possible. So, if we've learned anything, teamwork is one of the best things ever. So yeah, that is. I'm going to put the link to my my miniature website I've done, Fox and Jackal Stitches, in the box below, and that in there you can click on there and go and find it. It's also got. I'll also put a link with my Instagram on there, just so you can go and have a look at the pictures. And random stuff on there and keep up to date. But also what I did set up on my website is I set up an Instagram feed. That's your side. Going down the side, so you don't even have to jump to the 2 things. It's all in one place if you're just online kind of person. And that's really helpful, of course. And it's going to have all my YouTube videos on there as well as the patterns. Now the pattern on there, the midnight meeting. It's free. You press the button, you download it, and you got it. It's like as simple as ABC 1 2 3. Yeah, I've got a bit Michael Jackson there, didn't I? And that's what it's all about. It's just it's free. I've got a little donation tab, and that brings up a good point. A lady called LaShawn and a lady called Dawn. These 2 wonderful ladies, magical ponies of infinite stardom of the cosmos, have donated me money to thank me for making this, and I thought that was particularly awesome. What I've done with that money, I'm sure you ladies will be very pleased to know, is I've bought myself a coffee and and biscuit, and I've enjoyed myself with that. And that helps me sit down. It pays for me to sit down, write some stories, and ironically, the story behind this cross stitch. Now, I don't want to ever do a cross stitch without some sort of story, because for me, having a story, having a meaning for things is really important. Could be to do with the autism, dyslexia, or the BPD. It could be anything to do with my apparent mental condition. But I love a story behind something. A story ignites something's value. It makes it so much more. I love a pretty picture. I have often been caught looking at a pretty picture. That sounds wrong. And, but I love it, like horses, or, I'm not making it easy for myself, or dancing people, or things like that, or houses, that's better, or monuments, that's really cool, landscapes, I love those because they have atmosphere, and especially when it's cross-stitch. Cross-stitch is a type of fabric art that really, it's 2D, but it kind of is 3D, so it's sort of an alive drawing, if you like, for me, in my perspective, and that's why I love cross stitch, because it transcends beyond drawing and beyond just stitching. It's just that tactile wonderfulness of it. So yes, so the midnight meeting is a fantastic story, and this story is I won't tell you, but the competition, as it were, for the name, what we're going to do, I think it was out of Jane, Amanda, and Beth, and Beth was picked. Most of all. Don't worry about Amanda and Jane, those names will be coming soon in another story for another cross-stitch pattern. So that's pretty cool. I'm very excited by this whole thing. In fact, I really like the idea of being the pattern man and making lots of patterns, and I just can't wait to see somebody make my pattern and just see it. I just think that's just the most amazing thing. I've had so much rejection in my life. I've been told I'm so little and less so many times that it gets to a point where you start to believe it. And just to see 2 donations there, just, you know, that's of this current off recording. Just to see the donations, it just blew my mind, because it was finally like somebody actually likes what I've done. I've done something that somebody likes. And I know that people have liked some of my work before, and like, you know, like even my degree show, I had a crowd around my artwork and stuff. But you know, it was just, it's one of those things that you just, it could be because, you know, like I had a bad dad and my father wasn't there. He was very absent. He was a very aggressive man, and you know, and he never really appreciated or understood my artwork, or wanted to know about it particularly. And he thought that because of all of this that it was very gay or something. But I'm not gay, but like I don't see an issue with it. But he really did, and he felt that was a big problem. And that was really upsetting to me, because and that made me very stressed for a long time. And finally, like, just the fact that you're watching this, just the fact that you comment in the section below, or just the fact that you like and you comment on my Instagram account, just that alone is just another win out of that pit of feeling like you have no value. And like I did a whole thing, I helped some people and stuff, you know, I did a whole thing trying to help people get over being fatherless, you know, fatherless, daddyless daughters and fatherless sons. And it is a pain, and it is a hard thing to go through. And I'm really lucky. I have a tremendous wife, and I have a fantastic mother, of course, who is, like so many mothers, has stepped in and has been both mother and father, and filled in that role the best she can. And you know, she must have done a good job, because in my youth I've had multiple opportunities to fall off the wagon. And was it something she said once? It was just like a thing she said. She said, if you can do it comfortably with your mother watching, then it's okay. So like, you know, the idea of drugs or being a criminal, the idea of my mum being able to see it made me think, oh, hang on a minute, this is not a good thing. This is a bad thing. And that's just a funny thought. So that's what all this means to me. So much to me. I have so much emotion and tied in that could be, you know, I often wear a lot of my emotions on the top. I don't know if that makes me less of a man, but it makes me feel much more of a human being, that I'm in touch with myself. And I feel very happy with the result of this. You know, I've had 2 donations so far. That feels fantastic. You know, I'm starting to make a cool thing. You know, I'm loving the hell out of this. You know, quite literally. That was a pun intended. I meant to do that pun. And yeah, so this has been a hell of a load of fun. It says the devil, my Shakespeare devil, as I'm seeing him at the moment for some reason, has been a really great thing. Yesterday I was having a stress moment where I was worried that I was like, who am I to be making this? Who am I to say, oh, you know, here's a pattern, and oh, you know, if you want, you know, you can give me money for it. Who am I to ask for money for this? But you know, the fact that 2 people did, and that was just amazing. And do you know what? Like, it's not even the money. It's just that somebody, you know, the fact that people download it and they just say, wow, that's really great, you know, and some people think, I have to give money for that because that's just really cool. That just makes me feel great. You know, it's a very good feeling. And so, yeah, cross-stitching is the best thing ever right now. To me, I can't think of going back. I feel like I am too far down the rabbit hole to pull out of this now. I feel, because usually I pull out of things, I get scared and I leave a lot of things half finished because I have you know, like, I get an attack of my sense of self-worth, and I feel like oh, I can't see it through, and that could be to do with the amount of blows I've had in life. But do you know what this, you know, this whole thing highlights is no matter how hard things get, I've learnt the cycle of life. And maybe I've, because I'm like 31 or something now, you know, maybe I've just started to get old enough to realise that good times and bad times are actually both the same thing, and that they're actually in a rhythm. You have good times, and then come the bad times, and then come the good times, and then come the bad times. It's just a rhythm, and neither of them are ever permanent, and they always change, and that's a good thing. And it keeps you interested, and keeps you on your toes, keeps you developing as a human being, and I love that. And cross stitch is a part of an up. Is an up. This is an up, and in a hard time, strangely enough. So I'm very happy with this. I have dribbled on now for quite a while. I have gobbled up your time, you know, skibbity woo woo, absolutely insane. But I've had a good time doing this. Oh, just in case you didn't see the first video, the devil guy comes from this devil guy, Shakespeare, and that is Prairie Schooler. Good one, heads up, Halloween, great. Do you know what, I'm going to do my own Halloween thing. I'm going to do about 2 or 3 patterns for this Halloween, which I'm going to stick up for you guys, and maybe you'll like them. So any ideas of what you'd like to see in a Halloween pattern would be Ace Electric. And so yeah, that's it. I'm kind of going on now for no reason, so I should probably stop here. It's only supposed to be a 5-minute video. I have no idea how long I've been talking for. So yeah, there you are. My name's Chris. You've been super fantastic and super sexy, and so until the next adventure, you take it easy and keep on stitching. Bye bye.